Hi everyone, Omeza here once again. Welcome to my free Excel dashboard tutorial. This is another stunning Excel dashboard I'm gonna start to create from the scratch and show you how everything goes down to the animation we have right here to make your boss feel like, wow, I get it. Okay, right now what we're gonna do is just actually start from the scratch to create this Excel dashboard, and as you watch, you can actually follow along by downloading the template that actually has to do with this particular Excel dashboard. As you can see, I have double filter selected. I have filter for the US, and I actually selected star one right here. And if I want to clear the filter, I can use just a single button to have the filter cleared right here. Let me show you what I'm trying to say. Right now, if you come right here and I'll make a selection, either multiple or a single selection. Now I have multiple selected. You can clear the filter right here. But we have actually deselected this particular filter just because we want to actually have our dashboard very much looking like a very nice looking web application that we always log into the dashboard. So right now, if I make a selection of double or single, I can right here. We don't need to write any single code right here. It's just a little setting, and we have this done, and we configure it. I'm going to show you how to do that straight up in this particular tutorial. Let us talk about the color combination right here. This is the color we're gonna use. As you download the template to follow along step by step, I'm gonna show you how to insert this particular color codes and get this particular kind of color to make your Excel work stand out, like right here. Now let me show you the website I used to get my colors from. You can see this colors.co right here. I'm gonna be leaving the link beneath this video for you to actually go ahead and get a very nice cool color, various type of colors right here. So right now you just copy the codes and insert it, as I'm going to show you how to do that step by step. So right now, if you're ready, I'm ready to actually show you how to create this beautiful and highly dynamic interactive Excel dashboard right here on this channel. So we're going to be using this blank workbook for this particular work, and we have our colors right here. To start to create a very stunning dashboard, what we're going to do for the first time is just to go to view right here. You can see view and click on this particular formula bar and the header, and I've already the grid lines, so we take them off. And for the first time for the header, we're going to actually take just two cells. Right now we have two cells selected. I want to see the color I want to add. Now this is the color I want to add. We don't have the color existing already before, so it's 04873. So we can go back and actually click on the top level right here. Just always try as much as you could to remember the color. 4873, 04873. I'm gonna go right here. I'm gonna go to home, and I click on this particular color. I select it right here, and I go to custom, and here we go. We are having to insert RGB, so I'm gonna click right here. Then we have 48 right here, 48. Make sure the numbers are correct, else you're gonna have a very wrong color. 73. I think we have the color right now. I'm gonna say okay to it, and here we go. We have this nice color right here. As you can see, we have it, and it's the same color. So we've just gotten that ready. So the next we're gonna do is just for we to get a sidebar, and to get a sidebar, you go to insert and insert a shape. And I'm gonna actually drag it this way, and I'm gonna actually give my shape a size. So I'm just gonna go to this particular aspect right here. I'm gonna go to go to the height and make sure it's 6.94. So it's gonna be 6.94. So while this particular weight right here is gonna be 2.22, and once we've done that, that is really nice. So we've just gotten a very nice looking. Yeah, you're just gonna make sure you set it up right here, and now we have to change the color to the particular color we've just chosen right here. And we have, I think we should have the color already existing here, and here the color, you just make a choice of that color, and here we go. So we have to remove the outline. Just right click on it and go to format shape, and here we go. We select this line, and we take off the line. No lines. That is beautiful. Now I'm going to click anywhere from here and just Control A to highlight every single cells. I'm just going to actually make sure the color of the cell is actually this gray color. Oh, but right now we just flop it, but we can actually amend that right here, because we should have done that before now, and we don't have to go through the way we have actually went before. I can actually make sure I have it this way, and ready, we are good to go. I'm just gonna go and copy the header just to make everything very nicely working fine without having to do anything from the scratch, and keep the work very speedy. I'm gonna copy and take it to my new dashboard, and I'm gonna have it right here. I'm gonna Control V and have it pasted nicely. We got it. I think nicely we just have something good right here. So now we have to create our first analysis and start making the dashboard look very clean and nice. For the filter position, we are going to actually show our filter. I'm going to go to insert. I'm going to go right here and hit this and actually make sure I have it created from here and make it as little as this. So I'm just going to make sure it actually covers right here, and I have to select the same color for it. Right click on it and actually go here and select the color, and for the outline I'm going to say no outline. We have it. Okay, I think we have to go this way, and I have it like this. So now I'm gonna actually have to write my filter. So filter is right on it, and we're just gonna actually go to the top level right here, go to home and make sure you align it and just crank it up a little bit, and that is what we really wanted. So that is filter. So right now we might want to actually use a line to actually demarcate the filter from the rest. I have to go to insert, and I have a line right here. I'm gonna insert this line right here. I'm just gonna hold on my shift key and try to drag this particular line on it. And now I have to give the line white background, so I'm just gonna say outline is gonna be white, and here we go. I can copy this outline right here by holding on my control right here, see this plus sign, and I have the line right on this. That is beautiful. We've just gotten a very nice looking dashboard going on. So you can see how we are replicating what we have right here on this dashboard. So the first analysis we're going to make right now is this particular regional revenue analysis right here. Make it very much standard and as clean as this. So let's go on it. So before we go further ahead, I'm going to select a very single line right here and drag it to this end and actually change the color to be more brightened than the other to make our dashboard very much stand out. Can you see that? It's beautiful. It is more standard right now. And now I'm going to actually select the top level right here and inside a new card we're going to actually put on our chart. So I'm just going to leave it this way and make sure I actually select here and make the curve a little bit curvy. So now when I actually choose the then I choose the size of this particular chart, of this particular shape. So what we're going to have right here now for the height, so we're gonna have 3.33 right here, 38, sorry. So I'm gonna have 3.38, and for the weight what I'm gonna have is just 1.73. okay, 1.73. okay, I'm gonna make it 1.75, so I have it this way, and here we go. So just right click on it and change the color of this to what I'm gonna change it to white. So the outline, I think I don't need the outline, I just need the color. Field color is going to be white, and here we have our first card sitting right here for the first time. Just make sure you settle it down right here, and here we go. We actually coming up on it. So are we ready to do this? So if you're still watching right now, hit the like button and share this video. Okay, alright, to speed everything up, I've actually made this particular formatting, actually created the whole card. So you can see the alignment. That is exactly what you have to take into consideration. So we have this whole section right here, like the whole section from here to be well aligned, and we have aligned the whole section right here to be well aligned. So you can see how beautiful we've actually created this, and I'm going to show you how to actually place every single. Okay, let me just go to the dashboard and show you what it is. So you can see the arrangement right here is well arranged. The same thing we had actually done right here. So sorry for speeding it up, I just want to keep your time very intact. So right now we can go straight up to start doing the analysis. First of all, let us see the data we have right here. So you can see the data we have right here. We have the data to be some kind of dirty. It's not that clean. So I'm just going to insert 2 more columns right here to transform the data into what I really wanted. So if to add columns, just make sure you place the cursor. Once you have the arrow down, click on it to select this particular bot. So just insert, and we have inserted 2 columns to the left hand corner, and for here I'm just gonna say my month. So I'm gonna say months, and I'm gonna say my year, right? Okay, I'm gonna say my years. So that is exactly what it is. So for that, the month and the year is being actually joined together. We have to separate them. So what function do you think we can use? So I'm just gonna use the left and right function, which is very simple. Just type left. So once we have left, we have to give it how many numbers of text do we want to get from the left. It's just how many number. It's just going to be 4. So I'm just going to give it 4. So if I close and hit enter, now it defaults to that 4 right here. Okay, sorry, we've done this wrongly, so I'm just going to do it again. Equal to, we have the left function called, and the text is going to be this particular text. This is what we want to transform. I'm just going to give my comma. It's going to ask me how many numbers do I want to actually get just from the left. So if I just hit enter, I have 2016 extracted for me as my month. Oh, sorry, we have to make this for a year, right? So I'm just going to turn this to year. So I'm going to turn this to years, bigger pattern. So right now I'm going to make this on to my month. So now for me to get a month, I'm just going to use the right function right here. So I'm just going to go right here. And how many do I want from this? I'm just going to say I need 2. Just write comma, I need for 2. And if I hit enter, I have my January down to December right here. If I click on it, you can see from 01 till 12, we have it right here. That's exactly what we need to do in this particular part of it. Okay, now that we've done that, let's see how we can actually get this regional revenue chart created and start to beautify our dashboard. Okay, we go back again. So right here we hit the data tab and actually go to the top level right here and hit insert and go to pivot table. So we create our first pivot table. We want the existing sheet, so we start from the analysis one right here. And what we're going to do right now is just to actually start to create our first pivot table right here, and I hit enter. So it's very simple. We're just going to drag the region. We have to look for the region. We have the region, we put it on the row aspect, and we look for the revenue. And we have the revenue. This is exactly what we need to do, and we have to format this to a $sign. So we just control 1, that is the shortcut to be used, and we have this particular currency sign, and we take extra decimal off it and we hit enter. Beautiful, we have something like this, and we don't need to do any other thing again than actually we have to turn this to a very nice cool stuff that somebody can read. So go for tabular form. So we have region, and for the grand total, I don't think we need the grand total. I'm going to turn it off. So just turn it off, and now we have something like this. So we have to insert our first chart. I'm just going to go to insert, and what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to insert my first chart. My first chart is going to be this particular donut chart right here. So it's very huge. I'm just going to reduce it and take it to that particular aspect. So for now, I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to say hide. So I'm going to take this one off as well. I'm going to turn it off, and I'm going to make it little. So what am I going to do? I'm just going to take this to my dashboard, and we have to start formatting this particular one right here. So make it a little bit bigger, and we are good to go. So I'm just going to double click on it and start formatting right here. So the colors we need are not really completed right here right now, so that is exactly when we need to actually add more colors, just like we had done previously. So for now, for the whole charts, we want to make it some kind of no border and no field color. So we want to make it just like this, stand out like this. And I don't want to go right and start writing the header again. I'm just going to go to my previous dashboard and copy the header from there. So I have gotten this from my previous dashboard. It's very simple to create this. Is just all you just need to do is just to go to insert and actually insert this particular circle right here and actually make it a little. Once you have done that, you can actually choose the color you want to have for it right here. Like you want to have this color, you have it, and actually take this off, and what you have is just something like this. Make it very circle. So that is exactly what you need to do. Right now, for you to actually format this, you can double click on it right now and actually hit on this and go right here and choose this particular color. But this is not all beautiful because we don't have the color that we can actually match for this. So what we're going to do, so let's see how we can actually get the color. So the next color I want to get for this particular part now is for we to choose from the color we have right here, and I'm going to go for this particular type of color. So it's 102.155.188. So we just have to get the color inside our color palette. So with that, I can keep this double clicked and actually go to this particular here and actually hit right here and just go to more, and I'm going to actually go to this. Okay, I'm going to go 144. And I'm gonna go 188. Make sure it's correct, else you're gonna have a wrong color. So right now we have that type of color right there. So the next color we're gonna actually insert right now. Once we have this inserted for once, we're not gonna do that again. Is this particular color right here? Just copy the first one and remember the other part of it. Copy, and it's 1831. So we go back again and make sure you remember 1831. So just double click on this. So we select that alone. So we hit this and we hit right here. 1831 is what you have to remember. So we have 18 right here, 18, and we have 31. Make sure you don't mix them together. Okay, fine, we have something like this. So now our dashboard is taking shape, but we don't want this particular outline we have on the chart. So I'm just going to double click on this and actually select right here and select the border. We don't want it, so we have a very cool, nice looking chart right here. But what about the figures? It's very easy to actually bring the figures right here, and just make sure you have them selected, and control, we have this right shifted here, and I'm gonna actually make sure I extend it down to this end because it's gonna actually be very huge figures. So make sure I go to my view and actually turn the formula bar right on. So that is exactly what you need to do. So right now we have to bring in our Asia value. So just hit on your equal to and go to analysis 1 and go to Asia, and you have the value of Asia right here. You just make it bright. Okay, I think I have a wrong cell selected. I just have to deselect that. So make sure you select this and actually go here and put on your equal to and go back to analysis 1 and go to Asia and hit the value, and we have it right there. And we do the same thing to this as well. So just go to equal to and go to this analysis again and hit on UK, and we have it. So the same thing we're gonna do to this, and we just have to go on the same way and we hit this. There, beautiful, we have this. So right now it's time to format this to something we really feel like one thing. So how do we do that? So let's check our colors. So we have this font right here, and the kind of font we have right there is what we call agency FB. So we have to get agency LB for this. So I'm just going to go right to the home, and I'm going to just place my cursor right here. I'm going to type agency of B. I have it. So we have it right there. I can decide to make it bold and actually crank it up a little bit and actually make sure the color is very calm, something like this. So now what I do is to double click on this and make sure I have it for other part of my values. So beautiful, we have something nicely done just like this. So this is our number 1 chart creation. The next chart we're going to create right now is this line chart we have right here. Let's go to the previous dashboard and see what we are talking about. So we see this line chart right here. We want to actually create a very nice line chart like this, and it's very simple. When we hover over it, we see a tooltip that actually tells us how much values we have in the month 7 of the year. Or if we go right here, we see the value we have in January is going to actually reflect on the tooltip. So we're going to actually have to create something nicely like this. So before we actually go ahead and start creating this from the scratch, what we need to do right now is to make sure we have this particular part of it actually copied, so that we shouldn't create this over and over again from the scratch and make the Excel dashboard very speedy. Oh, I'm sorry for that. I'm just gonna click outside it and paste it. Oh, we have values copied. Okay, now to have that created, I'm gonna hit back to my analysis 1. I don't always try as much as I could to copy to create a pivot table over and over again. All I need to do is to duplicate the previous one and actually have what I wanted. So I'm gonna place this particular one right here, and I'm gonna say Control V or paste it as now this. So what I'm gonna do right now is just to make sure I select this, and what we need to do is just to make sure we actually format it to what we want. So what we want is the month. I'm gonna take it off, and I'm gonna go for the month right here. We have the month, and what we just have is just the month numbers. I'm just going to scroll to the top level. So what we have to do right now, we can deselect this and actually make sure we have so we're going to have this right here. So we have this. So if you look at it, we don't just have this and created the kind of line chart we want to create. So let me take you to the previous one and see what I'm trying to say. So we have a well formatted line chart right here. I'm going to go to this. Now this is exactly what we want to get. So I'm going to show you how to do this. So every single thing we have right here is going to be replicated from the scratch as you watch. So now what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to make a reference to this particular month here. I'm going to make a reference, and I make a reference to this part. And what I'm going to do right now, I have it selected all together. I'm just going to select both cells and drag it down to the last month right here. And once I've done that, I'm going to come up right here and make sure I actually format this to just revenue. I'm going to take the all from it. So I'm just going to format it this way. Okay. Now, because our pivot table field name already exists, so if you still want to use this name, just come right here and leave a space on it, and you have it, and it's going to accept it. Just trick it that way. So we have this right here, and I'm going to do the same thing again just to make sure I make a reference to this and have it duplicated so that we can create the kind of chart we want to actually create it. So right now I'm going to select this right here and make sure I have it formatted just Control 1 will help me to get this particular format cells up. And I'm gonna go for currency, and I'm gonna take the extra decimal off it, and here we go. We have something nicely like this. And the first thing we're gonna do right now is just to actually insert our first chart with this particular aspect right here. So go to insert and insert the kind of chart you want to insert, and it's gonna be a line chart, and the kind of line chart you want to have inserted is just gonna be this kind of line chart. Beautiful, right? So now once we have this kind of chart inserted, what we're going to do is just to take the title of it, and I don't need particular axis right here, and I don't need this revenue as well and month. So we have taken that all off. So I'm just going to double click inside it and actually have this right here, and I'm going to actually click right here and go to this below it and go to smooth, and I have a smooth line on it. So this is exactly what it is. So now you can see what I have right here is just one circle right here. I'm just gonna go and look for the circle, and here we go. We have the circle right here, and I'm gonna actually crank this circle up if need be. But for now, I'm not gonna take care of that right here because we can't see the visibility of what we're doing right here until we get to the other side of the dashboard. I'm just gonna actually take this away from here. So I'm just gonna make it a little bit smaller and actually get it cut off from here for now, and I'm gonna actually make it down a little bit. So now I'm gonna right click on it and see select data, and here we go. I'm gonna add another new axis, and I'm gonna say okay, go for this header, and once I get here I take it off and actually highlight this aspect, and here we go. We have a new one inserted. So beautiful. So we are about to create a very nice looking dashboard right now. So I'm just gonna select this again. I'm gonna select change chart type, and right here for this particular one right here, I'm gonna change it to something like this. So this is how I actually created my chart. So I say okay to it, and I've gotten this chart created. So what am I gonna do? So what I'm gonna do right now is just to make sure I cut this chart away from here, and I go to my dashboard and I try to do the formatting the way I really wanted it. So you can see beautifully, and for me to actually create a very nice looking, for you to see it very well on the screen, I'm just gonna zoom so that you can actually see what we're doing right now. Can you see that? That's beautiful. So now we have just gotten our chart right here. I'm just gonna make sure the chart is sitting well, and I'm gonna double click on it, and I'm gonna have this right here. As for now, I'm gonna have to actually say no fill and no border as well. So for this aspect we have here, I'm gonna say no to it. So that is exactly what it should be. So we're gonna have to work with this, and what we're gonna do right now is just to make sure we put it on grid line. And once we have it on grid line, so we're gonna come down right here and change the color of the grid lines. But before we do that, let me just take this particular step away. So I just need two steps right now. So the first step and the second step. So the first step, I'm going to come right here and select the kind of color I want for the first step, and as well select the second color for this. Okay, for the first step, I think I am going to be needing white color for the first step right here. So we make a change of it. So I think for the line, I'm going to select this for the line as well, and I'm gonna go for another color for the line color. I'm gonna go for the same color as well. That is the color, the orange color we have right here. And for now, I'm gonna make the line very thicker. I think I have something nice like this. And if I actually put this on 100%, you can see how beautiful it's gonna look like. So on 100% right now, we have something like this. And what we need to do is just to crank the number of the months up by doing Control B. Is going to help us to do that. So just your Control B, and we have it on bold, and something nice like this is actually what we have. So if you look at this, it's just beautiful on the dashboard, and we are almost right there. Okay, the next chart we're going to be having right now is the people's chart we have right here. So let me just show you what chart I'm talking about. So we're going to actually trick it to actually have a very nice dynamic chart just like what we have right here right now. So let's do that quickly. So I'm just going to go back right here and actually go back to my analysis one. And right now I'm just going to copy this particular pivot table. This is the pivot table we have right here. I'm going to copy my pivot table, and Control C will help me do that dynamically. Okay, I'm going to go down here. So I'm going to actually have to paste this right here and go to paste and have it pasted. And right now I'm just going to remove the month. So take the month off it. And for now I'm just gonna go for the what? For the I think I go for the gender. So I go for the gender. And for now I can't really do what I really wanted from it. So I'm just gonna actually repeat this particular value right here. And the second value is gonna be for my I think the second value should go for my revenue. What this one is going for the percentage. So I'm just going to show as a column total. So now we have it as percentage right here. And what I'm going to do right now is just to get this percentage right down here to create the kind of chart I want to create. So I'm just going to say this. I'm going to make reference to this, and I'm going to make reference to this particular aspect as well. And what I'm going to do right now is just to make sure I copy it down. And now I'm going to lose my percentage. So I'm just going to select these two cells together and make sure I format them into a percentage. And I'm going to say with just one single no decimal point. So right now I'm just going to say, okay, what when we're minus 100% from what? 100% from this, what we have, because we want to create a blank area. So we have something like this. So the format is off. So we have something like this. So we need to go Control 1 and actually make sure we have this formatted into a percentage. 0%. Okay, I think we think we are wrong somewhere. Let me see how we can actually get this. Okay, I think we forgot something. We forgot to actually add percentage right here. So I'm just going to start from the scratch for you to understand what is going on. I'm just going to type my 100%. So I'm going to put a percentage sign right here. I'm going to actually subtract that from this particular percentage we have here. Once I hit enter, we have 80%. So it's 80 point something percent, as this one is going to be 70. Okay, this one is 16.7%. So it's now when add this to this, is going to give you 100%. So we can try that right here. I'm going to say equal to this. I'm gonna say plus this, or we can actually use the sum function. So I'm gonna say sum this these two together. So if I hit enter, it gives me 100%, and this is exactly what it's going to give to me. So right now what I need is, so I don't need this one, is just these two right here. And first of all, I'm just going to create my chart right here. Before I do that, I'm going to say blank area. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to create a chart from here, and the kind of chart I want to create right now is called a bar chart. I'm going to select the kind of bar chart I really wanted. So I want something like this. Beautiful. This is exactly what I wanted. So the blank area for this and the blank area for this. Okay, we have three options to do this, but this is the first option. I think it's a little bit complicated. I'm going to show you a very light way to do this. I'm just going to delete this away from here, and instead of us to get a blank space or here, I'm going to delete that. I'm just going to use this particular part. I'm just going to actually insert my type of chart. So I'm just going to insert this particular bar chart right here, and beautiful. And if you see the bar chart we have inserted right now, we are not having it to be 100%, so we want to make it 100% right here. We want to have here 100 from 0 to 100. And what we can do right now is just double click on it right here. And I'm just going to say, okay, right now to my minimum is going to be 0. I'm going to make the minimum 0, and I'm going to make the maximum right here to be 1, which is going to give me 100%. So right now I have the 100% chart right here. So I'm just going to actually make sure I deselect every part of it. So I'm going to deselect this, and I'm going to have this deselected. I'm going to take up the grid line as well, and I'm going to minimize this to go to my dashboard. So let's see how we can actually cut this to a dashboard. And here the dashboard right here. I'm going to Ctrl V, and to format this nicely, I'm just going to actually make sure I zoom this closer so that we can actually work with this on any small screen we're actually viewing this from. So I'm just going to keep zooming down to what I believe I can see, one you can see as well. So now we have to get this to work on this. So what we need to do right now, double click on it and make sure you have it formatted. And remember the finished product. So what we can actually go for now is to see how we can actually make the chart to look like the previous one we have right here. Can you see this chart right here? It's exactly what we're trying to do right now. So I'm just going to actually go back and select it again, and make sure I have what I select here is just the mail. You can see it on the tooltip, we have mail selected. So I'm just going to make sure I minimize it down to this end, and I'm going to make sure it's sitting right on it. I think it's sitting well right now. I'm gonna make it this way, and for now I'm gonna remove any border and the field color right from it, and I'm gonna actually have to click here and make it some kind of very huge. So something like this is beautiful. I can decide to close it, but I don't want to do that because I want to have something right here. And because I want to use the mail, I'm just going to go to the top level right here and select and insert, go to this particular part and select this. I'll make sure I have this covered down to this end. So I have it covered. So I'm just going to make sure I have this on white, and the line outline, I don't want to have any outline on it. And what I'm going to have right here right now is this particular kind of just go here, go to insert, and go to this shape, and I select this shape right here, and I have this kind of shape inside it. So make sure it's actually covering it exactly, something like this. So beautiful. So what we need to do right now is just for we to actually make sure we turn off this, and what we need is just the outline, and the outline we're gonna make it some kind of white color as well. That is beautiful. We make the outline a white color and it stands out. So we're gonna actually come right here and make sure we crank up the outline like this. So if I deselect it right now, you can see what I have, and I can actually go ahead and give it the kind of color I really want to have on this. So I think I need a color that is just going to look like this. I'm going to select my color type. I select this color, and you can see beautiful. It's right beautiful on it. So I can go back and select this again. What I'm going to do right now, because I'm going to be using this again, I'm going to double it, and I'm going to have this go down right here. So this is exactly what it is. So right now we've gotten this, and for we to actually get to work with this, I want to make sure this is very speedy. I'm going to go right here and copy every single thing we have right on the previous one down there, from the icon down to the value aspect. So I'm just going to copy it. Okay, I think I'm not going to copy this, as we're going to actually, okay, I need to copy this and just change the value that is actually peculiar to it, and go back to the particular aspect, and we can see the feel of what we really trying to do. Okay, now I think we have something like this. So we have to relate this particular number to make sure it's looking at our own analysis right here, and this is the percentage that is peculiar to that. I think this is the value for the male. So we are analyzing male, that is the value for the male, and we are getting this particular percentage for the male as well. So we get a percentage for the male, so we go back right here, we pick the percentage for male, and we have 80%. So that is beautiful. So we can actually come right here and make sure we give it what we had used before. I'm gonna actually copy this particular one from here and just give it that same formatting. So I'm just gonna copy, I'm gonna actually have to paste this right here, and that is what I have. I think that for this I don't need to do that. I just need to actually change the color to look something like this. How I might make it a little bit brighter, so we have something like this. But right now I can decide to make sure I'm showing the percentage fully, like I'm showing it if it is 100, like this particular part of percent we have right here. Just copy the formatting from here and down to this, and if I go back to my dashboard, this is beautiful. It's giving me the full percentage of what we really have. So don't worry, when we actually try as much as we could to use slicer on this, you're gonna see how beautiful it could be. So right now we are right here for this particular part of this so what we need to do right now is just that we are not actually covering this again. I'm just gonna actually remove this from here. I'm gonna change this to under color for now, for me to see the visibility of this. So I'm gonna get this away from here and come right here and make sure right now this is what I'm actually covering. So exactly, so for now I'm gonna be using this to make sure okay, yes, so move this right to this particular aspect, and this is exactly what it is. So right now I can actually make sure I select the white color background. So here we go, and now we can actually go ahead and select a color for this particular part. So, and the color I want to select for this is actually this color, and it's looking very nice and beautiful at it. So what we need to do right now is just to situate it right on this particular aspect, and we have to do the same thing we had done before and actually copy everything that has to do with this particular female part right here to that aspect. Okay, now it's looking very nice on it, but we have to drag this down for now. We have to just drag this down and make it situated right here, and I can actually make sure I give it 100% view, so we can see what we have done, how nice it is right on our dashboard. So we just need to get 100% view. So I'm just gonna make sure I make it 100%. Okay, sorry for that. Okay, I have to decrease it to make sure it gives me 100%. So right now you can see what it is that we have actually done when we actually put it on a zoom. So this is what it is. We've just gotten this particular aspect right, and the next part we're gonna go right now is just to create this kind of chart we have right here. Our dashboard is taking a very nice shape. So on this aspect, what we have analyzed is revenue by year. So right now I'm just gonna go right here and actually copy this away from here, and I'm gonna copy from here. For now I'm just gonna use my analysis sheet to because I don't want to actually crowd that particular aspect. I'm gonna actually paste this right here, and now we have to remove get this off and just remove gender, and I'm gonna go for year right here. We have the year right on it, and what I'm gonna do right now is just to make sure I actually go for this and actually create the kind of chat I want to create. It that is why I always love to duplicate it this way, and what you need to do is just to drag this down. Okay, select it again and make sure you highlight it and have it dragged down, and we have to actually make this particular place to be on a percentage. Just go on percentage, and I'm gonna say just 1. Okay, fine, we have this right here, and we can select this particular aspect. But before we do that, I'm just gonna actually drag this down from here down to here while I have this duplicated to this particular part of it. So now beautiful, we have this. Okay, I think it's not linking any longer, so I'm just gonna link it freshly to this particular aspect. I'm sorry for that. So we have it linked freshly, and we have to create for 2015. And what are we creating for 2015? So right here we need the blank area, so I'm just gonna put on my blank area right here. So blank area, that I don't need to write the same thing again. I'm just going to actually reference this particular cell right here, and for the blank area is the same thing we had actually done before. 100%. I'm going to say 100% minus this because that is high gradient blank area. So I have this percentage right here, and I do the same thing to this particular aspect right here. I'm just going to say my 100% minus this particular value or percentage we have right here, and we create our blank area. So for now I'm just gonna actually have to select the whole pad and create the kind of chart I want to use for that. So I'm just gonna use this particular donut chart right here, and I'm gonna resize it. Okay, go click on it, make sure you resize it to look very small, and for now I'm just gonna copy it. Go click on this and have it deleted, and click on this and have it deleted as well. And I'm gonna actually have to make sure I cut this away from here and I take it to my dashboard and I continue the formatting right from here. To have a very nice formatting, so let us just do this, do it as usual, so I can actually make sure I actually zoom it so that you can actually see it closely with any screen you actually have. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller. I'm gonna actually make sure I make it smaller right here, and I'm gonna double click on it and actually format it. So now how do we know a blank area from the other part of it? So I'm just gonna select and take this particular border of it. So now to see the blank area, you can see this is the revenue for 2015, and here we are having our blank area. So which means this one we need to actually turn into under color and make sure we are having it highlighted. So once we have it highlighted, we're gonna have this color right here, and I'm going to go for something like this. So I have something like that. Right now I'm just gonna choose the under color for this particular aspect right here, and I'm gonna use this color. Then it rhymes with the color we have at the top level right here, and we're done with that. All we just need to do right now is just to actually make sure we click on Ctrl D and have it duplicated and actually move it to this particular aspect. But before we do that, I'm just going to delete it for the first time. I'm going to actually click inside here, and I'm going to make sure I have it some kind of border. Okay, I think I'm cool with something like this, so better. I'm gonna actually have to duplicate it right now, so I have the twin. Okay, now duplicated. So I'm just gonna select both of them, have them selected both, and go to the top level right here, click on format and actually hit on what and take it to the top level, and you have to make sure you hold them both and centralize it right here. I think it's been centralized right now. I love that, beautiful. So the next thing we're gonna do right now, we have to actually make sure we bring all the values that has to deal with this and this. But before we do that, we have to click on this and actually make sure we give it the right data. So we go right to the bottom and we select for 2016. So 2016, I select that. So we have 2016, and now what do we have right here? This is for 2016, and this is the blank area. So what do we do for the blank area right now? We need to actually make sure we select the right color for it. So this is the blank area. You can see the blank area right there. I double click on it and actually make sure I have it with the nice color we should have for it, and I'm gonna actually select this and actually go for the color we should have that is appropriate to it. And I'm gonna actually make sure I deselect and select back on the chart and actually take off this particular border we have over it. So I'm gonna take off the border, and the border is away, and beautiful, we have something like this. But we don't really have a very nice percentage right here. I'm just gonna select on this percentage, and Control 1 will help me to actually, okay, Control 1 will help me to do this right here. I'm going to Control 1 and go for percentage, and I'm going to actually put it on just 1. And here we go. I can copy the format into this particular other one right here. I don't have to do something over and over again. I think I have something beautifully just done like this. And the next thing I'm going to do right now is just to have all the single value we have right here on it. To do that, you know what to do. We have to go to the previous one and actually copy it from here so that we shouldn't create this from the scratch and waste too much of our time. So I'm going to have it pasted right here right now. And here we go. We have it right here. I'm sorry for that. I'm going to actually Control Z, and I'm going to click outside here, and I'm going to have it pasted outside here. And now I'm going to bring it right in here, and this is exactly what it is. So all we need to do right now is to make sure we actually make it settled down to the right part of it. So just do the formatting right here. Okay, right now we have those right here, but we don't have the right value. You know what to do to get the right value for revenue 2019. We just have to go and pick the revenue for 2019 right here. So we know the revenue for 2019 right here. Okay, sorry, we can actually go right here and actually make sure we have it highlighted. We're gonna go for revenue 2019, so we go right here and we search for 2019, and 2019 is this. We just pick the revenue right there, and we have the revenue right there, and we search for that particular for 2020. So we go for this, and we have for 2020 we have this revenue right here for it, and we have to take the percentage that is peculiar to it as well right here. So we have all the values right here. So the next thing we're going to do right now is just to make sure we format the percentage. I'll make it bolder, and we actually crank it up a little bit, and we give it that particular same color, like this color right here. We give it to it, and we can actually make sure we double click on this and give it right here, and actually make sure we change the color to be very much peculiar to this particular chart. I think this is exactly what we wanted. So we can decide to crank it up a little bit. Okay, I think we'll leave it this way. And for this very value we have right here, we don't need to do anything to that value than to actually copy this particular part of it and make sure we have it here, and we have this. Oh, sorry, I should have double clicked it twice, and we have this right here as well. That's exactly what it is. So for this now, we can actually go ahead and actually double click on this and make sure we click right here and actually make the formatting very pretty nice. So we have something like this. So our chart is taking shape, and our dashboard is taking very nice shape right now, and we just want to create this right here, and it's very simple, very simple and easy. So it's not the same thing as what we've created before. You just have to stick around to actually watch and see how we got this formatted this very way. And as well, you should know that we still have some animation to deal with. If you are still watching, I want to say thank you very much for watching. Hit the like button and subscribe and leave a comment, and let me see what your question is all about. So in order to create those kind of chart we have right here, let us see what is behind this inspiration. So we just have to go to our major chart we have right here. So we go right here and we hit this. Okay, now we are on the right sheet, so we just have to click on this particular insert, and we just have to insert this particular circle right here, which is this oval. So I'm actually going to drop it, and I'm going to actually have to go to the top level and actually give it a very nice dimension, and it's going to be 0.73, 0.79, and I'm going to say 0.79. So I have something beautiful like this. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to right click on it and actually bring this from our shape right here. So I'm just going to remove the outline, and I'm going to go to change the color. I'm going to give it this very color we have here, and for this particular effect I'm going to go for the shadow, and I'm going to choose this type of shadow right here, and we have something nicely like this. So once we have something like this, so what I'm going to do right now is just to duplicate it for other part of it. I'm going to distribute it and distribute it right here, and the next thing to do is just to click on them both and go to the top level right here and hit on align, and I'm going to say center, and I'm going to say again middle. So we have it that way, and I'm going to do the same thing to this as well, and I'm going to say center, and I'm going to hit on middle, so it's centralized and we have it justified without even having to guess what it is that we are doing. So right now we are sure that this is centralized as what we have just done. So click on this and make sure you do the same thing to this as well, and we have a very nice looking dashboard. So professionally we have just done this. So what is the next thing we have to do is for we to analyze the quarter the sales, but we have to see the revenue for quarterly is not given right here, but we have to use some trick to actually get it done. So how do we do this? Let's go get it done. Okay, I'm gonna actually go back to my analysis tool right here, and from analysis tool I'm gonna start to get this right. I'm gonna copy this away from here, and I'm gonna actually drag this, and I'm gonna start to actually analyze this right here. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm just gonna remove the year, and I'm gonna bring the month right on it. So I have the month numbers. Okay, the month numbers is going to the wrong direction. I'm gonna bring the month number right here, and I have it here. So we have something beautiful like this. So now I have to remove this percentage value, so I don't need it. I'm just gonna remove it. So this is what I really wanted. Now we have to actually create extra column. We call it a supporting column right here. And how do we do that? I'm just gonna go this end a little bit. Okay, now to create our supporting column, this is what we're gonna do. So I'm just gonna say, okay, from here I'm just gonna make a reference just like usual. I'm gonna make a reference to this, and I'm gonna actually make a reference to this particular aspect right here. And now I'm just gonna actually have to drag it down to the end. This is the supporting column, and what we want is actually sales for what is we actually need sales for 3 quarters, for the 4 quarters. I'm just gonna delete this. I'm gonna count this. I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna count this. I'm gonna delete this, and I'm gonna count this. Okay, I think there's a mistake somewhere, so we don't have to do that. So 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna insert 1 here. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna insert 2 here. 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna insert 3 here. 1, 2, 3. Finally, I'm gonna insert my 4 here. Those are my 4 quarters created already. So now you can see how I'm actually doing this. So now what we need to do right now, we have to come right here and actually make sure we have this right here. I'm gonna say sum. I'm gonna sum my first quarter together. I'm gonna sum this. I've summed my first quarter, and for the second quarter I'm just gonna say sum as well. Then I'm gonna sum my second quarter, and for the third quarter I'm just gonna create this sum again, and I'm gonna sum my third quarter. And because we're not given this, we need to actually go ahead and do this to actually make sure we have it analyzed the way it should be. And my fourth quarter is being summed together, and I'm just want to bring I want to bring my quarter 1 and quarter 2 all together. I'm just gonna say quarter that is so quarter. I'm just gonna come here and say revenue. So revenue, so the first quarter is gonna be QT quarter 1. So I'm gonna make it quarter 1. Then I'm gonna drag this down then to quarter 4. So what we need to do, we need to bring the peculiar value. This is for quarter 1, and this is for quarter 2, and this is for quarter 3, and this is for quarter 4. That's exactly what it is. So now I'm just gonna come right here and say total. So we need the total for a reason. I'm just going to total everything right here. I'm going to say sum again, and I'm going to sum everything we have right here together. So we have this. I'm just going to move this down to this end. So once we have this moved to this end, right now we can work with this, but actually make sure Control 1, and we have it formatted in currency sign. Okay, now we have this dollar value currency. So now we have this right on it. So when I get a percentage right now, the percentage of every single sales we have right here. And how do we do that? Let's see how we can actually get that done. So right now I'm gonna name this particular part as my percentage revenue for the quarter. I think I got my revenue right. So now what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to actually make sure I make this to be stand out, because right now that is our total values. So I'm just going to make sure I come right here and I just actually select this, and that is where our values sit, where it stands. So I'm just going to make this header stand out as well. So and now to get a percentage, what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to pre-format this one into a percentage if need be. Control 1 will help us to do that. So I'm just going to go for percentage, and I'm going to say just 1 decimal, and right here I'm just going to say this particular quarter 1, I'm going to divide it by the total right here, and I have this, and I'm going to actually have to drag this down, but we need to actually lock this cell down, else we're going to have some errors. So if you look at it, we're having errors because this is moving. Can you see what it is actually selecting? Okay, now I'm gonna actually click it again, and what we need to do, we need to lock this down because we don't want it to actually get to shift over and over again. And with our hash key we can actually have that done, and I'm gonna hit enter key. So now that we've just got that committed, I'm just gonna actually have to double click right here and I have it down, so you can see the percentage that is peculiar to every single quarter and all of that. So right now we need to extract this percentage and the quarter alone because we don't need the value for now. So I'm just gonna say quarter, I'm going to make a reference to it, and I'm going to say my percentage value. And what I need to do is just to drag this down, and I have this right here. And we've lost this right here, so I can actually click on this and actually make sure I copy the formatting down to this aspect, and here we go, we have it. And right here we can start to create our chart. I always love to create a blank area so for it, and you know already what we are actually trying to actually achieve right here. I'm going to say this minus this, and it gives us what we have right here. It's very huge, don't worry, we can format this with just a single click. And I'm going to actually highlight this whole aspect and actually go copy this and actually have it right here, and this is what we have. So right now we can start to create our chart from here for quarter one. We get to create the chart for quarter one right here by going to insert, and we insert this kind of chart, and we see how we can actually format this and to make sure it look presentable and very beautiful on our dashboard. So we just have to make sure we make it smaller, and now we just got to cut this away from here and take it to our dashboard for the first time. That is for quarter one. I'm going to come right here and I'm going to have to drop this here, and I'm going to actually have to format this. And for now I'm gonna have to zoom so that you can actually see it with whatever screen you are using to watch this very video right now. So what I'm gonna do right now is just double click on it and actually have this no shadow, no fill color, no border whatsoever, and I'm gonna select inner part of it and actually make sure I have this particular border taken off. And what I'm gonna do right now, I want to look for my blank. This is my blank area. For my blank area, I'm just gonna double click on my blank area and make sure I say no fill for my blank area, and that's exactly what we have just done. So we say no fill for my blank area, and it's gonna come right here and make sure it's sitting tightly right on it. So we have to make sure it's sitting well on it, and we have something beautiful like this. So what we need to do right now is just to duplicate this. We have to duplicate. Ctrl D will help us duplicate. Okay, I'm going to Ctrl Z. Okay, I think it's here. Okay, I'm going to click over it again and actually make sure we have it duplicated. So Ctrl D will duplicate this for us, and we have this duplicate right over here, and we just change the value. That is all we need to do. And we have the same duplicate again, and we need to bring this down here. This is how easy it could be to actually create any chart you feel like you want to create with this kind of style. So I'm just going to duplicate this because that one is going to the wrong part of it. So I'm just going to duplicate this, and I'm going to have this drag down here. So beautiful. Now this is for quarter one. So for quarter two, we want to actually have this selected, and it's going to be very easy to actually get this done now. And for quarter two, we're going to go right here, and I'm going to actually shift this up, and I'm going to have to select this one for quarter two. I'm going to have to select this for quarter two. Quarter two, we have this. So now we're having this error because of one thing we've not gotten right. So I'm just deselect this and go fix the error right now. I think there is no error, it's just like that. So I think I have to just select, so just select this particular aspect right here and actually go on quarter two. So once you've just done that, it's very easy to actually get formatted. So just double click on this because this is a blank area. So once you double click it and actually select this and actually say no fill, and you can actually deselect it back again and actually select inner part of it. And what you're gonna do right now this time around is for you to just go to the line, and you take off the line, and we've actually selected for quarter two, and we have to get this one for quarter three, and I'm going to do this one behind the scene and show you how everything works. Okay, now we have done everything. The next we're going to do right now is just to get this particular value we have right here on it. So we just have to make sure this is actually aligning right, and this I'm just going to Ctrl Z, so we don't have to click on the chart before we do that. So just click outside the chart and actually have it pasted somewhere else, and actually come back and actually make it duplicated and get it right to the particular right aspect. So I'm just gonna make sure I shift it down this to this aspect. So right now we can actually go ahead and apply with our colors, so we can see what kind of color we want to have for this. Just go right here and make sure you select a color for it. So I think I can go for this particular color. So while I click on this, double click on it and make sure you have that color highlighted, and I go for this type of very color right here, and I can go ahead and make sure I select on that color. So let's see the color we've not used. We can actually make sure we have a very rhymed color for this. So I think we have to go ahead and use this particular dark color right here right now. So we've not used that before. I think it's 120.00 is very simple. I'm just going to go back to the dashboard and actually make sure it's highlighted alone. I'm going to select this and actually go for this and go right here like we've done previously, and I'm going to say 120, and here is going to be 0, and here is going to be 0, and if I hit enter, I have this kind of color right here, and we do the same thing to this and actually select the kind of color that's going to be very much nice on this, and I'm going to select this very kind of color right here. I think we have the color used. I'm going to select this kind of color, and now it is the right time to connect this particular part to our chart and see the nice value we have all over it. Now you know what it is. To get its value, I can actually highlight the whole aspect right here and actually go to this particular aspect and go to Q1, and I hit the value for Q1 and I have it right here, and I want to get this particular value right here again. I go for this same part of it and I hit on the value that is peculiar for Q1, which is the revenue, and I'm going to hit enter. I have this right here. So we just gotten this ready, and the next thing we're going to do right now is just to duplicate this for all other charts, and it's going to be very much easy. Watch me do it right now. If I actually hold on my control, I can actually select everything we have right here. I'm going to select this particular one first right here. I select it first and I have this selected. Select this, and have this selected. Now I can hold my control and actually shift it down to this end and make sure it aligns very well to where I really wanted it to be. And actually I do the same thing right here. Don't leave your control, just keep on holding the control key and actually have this right here and still hold the control key. I'm going to drag this down to this end, and I'm going to actually make sure I go to the top level, and we might not have perfect work right here, but if you do this on your own, you will definitely have a very perfect work. So right now, if you look at this for Q1, we are having let's go back again and show you what it is. Now for Q1, we have our percentage to stay on 14, 15, 16 right here, 17. So that is exactly what we need to actually go ahead and start changing. For Q1, we have it on 14, and I think this one is going to be on 15 right now. Just make sure this one is on 15, and this one is going to be on 16. So on 16, while this one is going to go on 17 right here. So we have the same thing, we have to do the same thing right here on 6, and here is going to be on 7, and while this is going to be on 8. So I believe you understand what I'm trying to do, and this is going to be on 9. So exactly, so we have it just like this. So now what we need to do right now is just to format this and actually give it the very kind of color that is peculiar to the charts. And I'm going to actually go ahead and select the color, and this is the color right here. I have it and I make it bolder, and I select this color for this as well, and I'm going to make this actual bolder and actually make sure I come right here and select this color for it. And exactly we got to do the same thing to this one as well. So make sure we select the color that is peculiar to it, and we have to make it very much bolder. And this time around, we're going to have a little problem right here. We just have to solve this problem, because if we select this color, it's not going to be showing very much, but we have to tweak it to some kind of still look like the same color. Go right here and actually calm down to make the color more thicker. Exactly, I think we have something like this, because this one reflects so well. I'm gonna have to make it bold, and that is exactly what it is. Go right here, we have to copy the formatting. Just click on it and actually select the formatting right here, and we have to duplicate the formatting to here. And to do that over and over again, all you have to do is just to have this double clicked, and you click here. We have this and we have this exactly. So right now I'm gonna give you 100% to actually make sure we see it in a very nice view. Okay, if you are still watching, you can see we are almost at the far end of this very video. So you can see how beautiful it is. All we don't just have right here is the slicer. So we are almost coming up to this particular aspect, just the one we have right here, beautifully like this. So we are almost onto this particular part. So right now, what we have to create now, we need to actually create this cards we have right here. That is very dynamic. So if you are still here, you've not hit the subscribe button, just go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well. Hit the like button and leave a question on the comment section, and let's do the next part of it. So right now I have to paste a new pivot table right here. I have a new pivot table right here, and right now I'm gonna remove the value. Sorry, I'm gonna remove this right from here. Remove it. So, and I'm gonna actually move this, and what I have is the revenue, and I'm gonna actually get any value that is actually text value, and what that is gonna default to is count. So it's counting how many transactions we have. So I'm just gonna actually rename this to transaction. So I'm gonna name it transaction. That is transfer transaction, and I'm gonna have to rename this to just revenue. So revenue, so that is better. So right now we have just gotten this right here, and I'm gonna copy this again and actually make it very dynamic because I want this to respond to filter. That is why I'm gonna be doing this right now. I'm gonna actually get it right here. I'm gonna paste it right on this particular aspect right here, and I'm gonna remove the value. I'm gonna remove the values, so I'm gonna have to bring on my countries. So here are the countries we have right here. I'm gonna come right here. I'm gonna say country. So countries, I'm gonna hit enter. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna use count A. I'm gonna tell you why I'm using count A right now. So count A. So what count A does is to help me count the values we have right here. And I'm going to extend it beyond here so that if we keep having more data, it can actually get accumulated. And I'm going to actually have to close this and hit this. And it's giving me 9 countries. So the reason why I have this right on it is because I'm going to actually make sure that filter is actually responding to this particular country. So every single time we filter it, if the country we have in that particular filter is just 3 country, this is just going to update. That is exactly what I have just done right here. So beautiful. We have for this transaction right here, we have to remove this particular $sign we have around it because it's not actually in currency value. So I'm just going to give it number, and it's going to be on this decimal. So here we have it beautifully. We just have to get it to our cards. And how are we going to do this? Okay, one more thing. So I'm just going to actually have to make sure I move this down to this particular aspect for now, and actually click on the pivot table we have created right here again. And for now, I'm just going to bring back the revenue inside here. I'm going to put it on the middle part of it, and here we have it. I'm just going to name this one average revenue. So average revenue, to get the average revenue now, what I'm going to do right now is just going to be for me to click right here and go to view field setting, and under the view field setting right here, we just have the average right here. We don't need to do anything extraordinarily. I'm going to click right there, so it renames this back to this average of revenue USD. So I'm just going to have to take this word away from here, and I'm going to have to click this, and I'm going to have this. So right now I can actually bring this back to join this again. So we have it beautifully like this. So we can actually get this to our dashboard and see how it's going to look like when we have it right here. So what we're going to do right now is just for we to actually, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. So we can decide to copy this away from here and bring this right here. I'm going to take this to the top level right here. Okay, I'm just going to bring this here as well. Oh, I don't want it to do that. So I'm just going to have to bring this one here and make sure I go to the top level right on this. I'm going to put on my formula bar, and now I'm just going to actually zoom so that you can see it better on what I'm doing right here. So what we have to do right now is just to make sure we bring the value that is peculiar to what we want to have right here. And what it is that I want to have for the first time, we want to have the revenue. So revenue, and we have the revenue. So after the revenue, we have the major revenue right here. Beneath here, we're gonna have the average. So we're gonna have the average. I'm just gonna make it smaller. And for we to have the average, we're gonna have the average value right here. I'm gonna bring this down to the top level right here. I'm gonna have the transaction. So transactions, so beautiful. So I'm just gonna have to duplicate this as well. Okay, I think we have something wrong with this. I'm gonna actually have to delete it and actually copy this from here, and I'm gonna bring this down here and take this down to this particular aspect. We're still gonna align it together, don't worry. So for now, I'm gonna say transaction. So we're gonna come right here, and here is gonna be a number of countries. I'm gonna use my hash key, and I'm gonna say countries. So countries, and we have to make sure we duplicate this down, and we have this like this. So now that is the part of the animation, but don't worry, we'll do the animation. All you have to do is just stick around. So we have to get the values right on this. So we're just gonna get a value right here. and we have to get its value once and for all. Do we have to do this? I'm gonna cut this away from here because we don't have to bring this here, and I'm gonna actually have to go for this. I'm gonna say for equal to, and I'm gonna go right on the second one, and this is my revenue. So we have to get this away from here. So for the average revenue, I'm gonna bring this down for here. I'm gonna actually go for 7. That gives me my average revenue. Oh, I think it's gonna be 8. 8 will give my average revenue. So why is wrong? Okay, let me just go select this and go to where we have it, and oh, we shouldn't. I think we are wrong. We just have to change the alphabet. So we have 8. So this one should be our transaction. So what we have to change right here is just this alphabet. This here is gonna be T. So we have it on T, and we're gonna have this right here as well. I think we're gonna have this on U if I'm right. So we have it on U, and I'm gonna centralize it. I'm gonna make sure it's in the middle, and I'm gonna make sure this one as well is in the middle. And we have something like this. We can actually give it a very nice formatting just to go with the flow of our dashboard. So go right here and copy the value we have right from here and just have it right here, and actually our dashboard will look pretty fine. You don't copy the value. So we have this value right here, and now we can go ahead and make it 100%. So this is how our chart look on a 100% view, and you can see if I actually put it on a full screen right now, you can see how beautiful it's going to look like. Go to view and actually make sure you have it on a full screen. Now beautiful, we are almost there where we create a very full nice chart. So now here we're gonna create for the sales rep, want to analyze this the sales rep sales right here. I'm gonna say sales reps, so sales reps. So we have to make sure we bring this right here. So we have that done, and right here I just want to do it once and for all. I'm gonna bring this down right here. I'm gonna say stall analysis. So start analysis, I have to actually make sure I bring it this way, and that is beautiful. So we have something nicely done like this. So now you can see the kind of chart we have right on this particular sales rep analysis. You'll be surprised how we have these 2 colors, and it responds to filters as well. Every single time it changes. Now we are having just one sales rep in this particular store, and we have it that we have it very dynamic, and it's giving us 100% of it. So I'm just going to go ahead and click this and show you how to create this kind of chart that selected automatically the top 3 and actually give it a different color. So let's go back and see how we can actually get the chart formatted this way. So we are right back here, and this time around I'm going to go right here and actually select this. We are leaving that, we don't want to cram a particular sheet, so we are going to analysis 3, and I'm going to have to paste this right here and actually make sure I have it pasted. So we get it. So I'm going to select from here, and we need to go for the sales rep. Click on the sales rep, and I want to take this particular percentage of it. So we don't have the percentage, so we have the sales for all the sales reps right here. And what I'm going to do right now is just to rank this particular from the largest to the lowest. We have it ranked, and once we have it ranked this way, what I'm going to do right now is just to make sure I still create a supporting column again, as we always do normally, and I'm going to create this one as well. So now we have this done. I'm going to actually have to drag this down to this particular last cell, and beautiful. So we have to come right here and make sure okay, before we do that, we have to make sure this one is some kind of on revenue. So hit enter, so we can actually give a space, and here we go. So we have done that, and I'm going to actually select right here and come and say top. So right now we've not actually understand what top it is. The top 1, top 2, top 3, because it depends on what we have selected on our slices. So but for that I'm gonna keep top because I'm gonna be making this very dynamic. So what I'm gonna do right now is just for me to actually come right here and select my top, and actually select this. I need the top 3. It could be top 1, top 2, top 3, depends on what is being selected on this particular pad. So for now I'm just going to select everything and actually make sure I put it on a $sign. So we go right on the currency and make sure we take extra decimal off it. So we hit OK, and now you can see the top three right here, and we have to create a chart that actually hosts this for us. So we're just gonna go and insert kind of chart. I think we need a bar chart like this, something like this. But if you look at what is going on right here right now, it's this round because it's some kind of upside down. This is not what is starting in. So we have to just do something. I'm just gonna make it smaller. I'm gonna bring it down right here. Okay, now what we're gonna have to do right now is just to make sure I'm gonna remove this, and I'm gonna have this removed. I'm gonna take off the grid line, and I'm gonna turn it around. I'm just gonna double click on this. So once I have that double clicked, I can see this particular go. You can see category in reverse order. Just click on it and you have it set it down. So that is beautiful. So we've just gotten that done. So we just have to bring it this way, and I'm gonna make sure I have it nicely formatted. So what I'm gonna do right now, my top three want to come right on it. So I'm just gonna actually right click on the chart and just go select data, and on select data I'm just gonna say add, and from add I'm just gonna say okay, this is it, top. And what you're gonna do now is just to get a value for the top. You just can actually even select down to the last one, doesn't spot anything, and actually go select and hit OK. And now we have this. So right now the rest of the formatting is going to be done on our main dashboard. I'm going to come right to here, and I'm going to have to paste it down here. So Ctrl Z, select cell and paste it, and here we have it right on this particular aspect. So right now we know how we work with zoom it, so that we can actually look at this very well on any screen we're actually using to watch this tutorial right now. So make sure it's on a very nice zoom. So we have to make sure, okay, let me zoom. Okay, fine. Okay, nicely. So nicely done. So we can actually make sure we set this down right here. I'm gonna expand it, and I'm gonna come right here and bring it down. So bring it down, and I'm gonna actually have to take it this way. And if you look at it, I don't want it to be on this. I just want to have to take this off, and I'm cutting it off. Cutting the label now right. So I'm just gonna double click on this again as well, and I'm actually make sure I say no line and no border, no fill, no border as well. So that is beautiful. For now, I'm gonna click on this and actually go right here, and we have to make sure we do this. Oh, nicely. So for now we have to select the color for this. So the color we're going to select for that is going to be this very color. What about this color? Nicely, I'm going to actually have to come right here and select this color for my top three. Oh, sorry, but I'm going to Ctrl Z. So I'm just going to select this, and for my top three I'm going to select this color for my top three sales reps, and for the rest that is all. So we have just gotten this done, and I'm going to give you a 100% view to see what it looks like right here. So on a 100% view, this is what we have just done. So nicely done. So I can actually make sure I still extend it down to the down level right here. And right now what we need to do is just to get the labeling right on it. And how we're going to do that, I'm just going to bring this one down a little bit, and I'm just going to double click on this again and actually make sure I have this. Okay, beautiful. We have something like this. So what are we going to do to get it right? Because when I have the label right here, I'm just going to hit here, and I'm going to go to insert, and I'm going to just do one and actually show you how I just show you this particular first one right here. Okay, once I have it selected, I'm going to select right here and actually make sure I drag this down to this particular aspect a little bit. So nicely done. So I'm going to select this now and actually go turn off my formula bar. This is the formula bar right here. Where the heck are you? Okay, view, and we have the formula bar, and we go to select what particular this is for what this is for this particular cell, this particular bar right here. We're gonna go back to this, and here we have it. This is the name that's been collected. That we have the name right here, and we are not really cool with what we have. So go to the top level again and actually go for home, and make sure you centralize the text, and we make it bold. If we like, we can decide to do that, and actually we have to make sure we align it to this particular right hand corner, and we just have to drag this a little bit down, and this is beautiful. So for now we don't have to deselect this. I'm just gonna have to copy this and keep copying this, so we copy it until we get to the last one, then I will show you how everything is done. Okay, now we've just got an error label ready, but we don't like the color. We have actually grouped them together. I can go to the top level right here and actually go ahead and actually make sure the color is very much calm. I think I love this, and I actually have the leave it this way, and beautiful, we have it nicely done like this. And we've not even tested our dashboard if this can actually filter. Then it's going to happen, it's going to filter. So the next thing we're going to do right now is to create a chart we have right here, but before then we have to get a caption for it right here. So if we have to do anything right now, we need to actually select the both chart together and actually make sure we have it grouped. So now we can actually make sure we take the size down a little bit if we think need be to do that. So we can actually take the size down a little bit, but right now I just want to actually insert something. I'm going to click off, and I'm going to go to the top level right here and go to insert, and I'm going to hit on this hit this, and I'm going to hit this right here. Okay, fine. What do we want to have right here? I'm gonna say this color should be changed and to this particular color, and once we do that, take the outline, and here we go, we have something like this. So let's see what we're gonna have right here. I'm gonna go to this part of it, and now for the top three, I'm gonna say top three right here. Just make sure we go this way. I'm gonna type top. Okay, I'm just going to say top right here because right now I'm still going to make it dynamic, and right here I'm just going to say all revenue, and that is all we need to do. And I'm going to say, okay, fine. For now, for we to get it up, we need to use the sum function. We're going to use the sum function. We sum this all together, and that is exactly what we need to do. And for all revenue, we're just going to use the same sum again, and we just have to come right here and scroll down to the last value of it. In case it actually get accumulated, we can select beyond that and we hit enter. So that is exactly what is going to happen. So we have this right here. So now what we need to do is for we to look for the percentage of this. So I'm just going to say percentage difference is what I'm going to find right now. So let's see how we can actually find that. Now, to find the percentage difference, that is how many percentage this particular three sales rep contributed to the overall sales. We just have to do this. It's very simple. We need to go to the top three. That is the smallest value. We divide it by this particular whole value that we have already. So it's going to give us 42%. Those three sales rep contributed 42% to the overall sales out of 17 sales reps we have. So right now, can you see that? So we can now make a dynamic caption for this. So let me show you what we have right here. You can see right here we have this caption. The top three sales rep brings in 42% of sales. Right now it's talking about the top three right here. That's exactly what we're trying to achieve. Okay, we're gonna say right here, I'm just gonna say equal to, and I'm gonna actually use my double quotation, the top. So the top three. So the top three for now, the top three percent, the top three sales reps. So I'm gonna actually give a space and close the quotation mark, and I'm gonna concatenate this to this particular value right here. The top three sales rep brings contributed. I'm gonna say contributed or brings in. Okay, it's gonna be brings in. Bring in, not brings in, bring in. So we have to come right here and actually make sure we surround this. Again, this is the concatenation. Okay, that is the top three sales rep brings in 42.1% revenue. So revenue. So we hit enter, and this is exactly what it is. It looks some kind of weird. So why is going on right here? Why are we not having a percentage on it? This is boring, right? So how are you going to deal with this? It's very simple, very, very simple. All you just got to do is to know the formula to use to bring it back. So in order to have the percentage right here, double click on it and actually have it highlighted. Come to this particular, after the ampersand you have right here, just use the text function. So after the text function, just gonna actually go inside here. That is after J8, which is the cell reference. Just hit your comma and double quotation mark inside it, 0 and a percentage right on it, and you give it under double quotation, sorry, the double quotation, you close it again, you close the open bracket, you have the bracket you have open, you closed it, then you hit enter, you have your percentage. The top 3 sales reps bring in 42% revenue. Wow, that is nice. So we can now go back right here to our dashboard, and we can actually reference this right here. And I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna come right here, and I'm gonna go, okay, so we're gonna go back to this and hit this right here, and when I hit enter, we have it right at it. So the top 3 sales rep brings in 42% revenue. So we need to actually make sure we have it right here. So we can actually go ahead and actually make sure we centralize it. So we can make it smaller to show up. So we centralize it and we bring it up on white color, and it's showing right. So once we have filter, this is going to respond to filter, and you can see how much revenue they brought. So you can go ahead and actually place your, okay, I can go ahead and say, okay, my data label right on it. So I'm just going to bring it data label right on every part of it. So just click on here. So we have it highlighted, and I'm going to go for my data label, and I'm going to place it right on it, and I'm going to make sure this one goes inside base right here. That is exactly what it is, inside base. I'm going to select this and drag it a little bit. So okay, for we not to waste too much time on formatting, we can actually leave the formatting alone for now, so we'll do that later. So right now you can see the top 3, how we can actually get it to be in one particular chart, and beautiful, we have it like that. So this is the chart we're gonna have right now for the sales rep. We're gonna have the chart for the sales rep. Let's see how it goes. So for this one, we're gonna have, I'm just gonna go to the third one. So we're gonna go right again, I'm gonna go right here and select this particular chart. We're gonna copy it, I'm gonna bring it down to this aspect. So go here, and we're gonna have it pasted here. So we're gonna have this pasted here. You will have to make sure every single time you create a dashboard, you will have to make sure your dashboard is well clean, just like what we have right here right now. You can see the analysis we have right here is very well clean. So whoever is actually looking into this now, is very simple to be read and actually know what is going on right here, because we have some headers right on this to actually send information to our end users should the person is not a technical person. So the person will definitely know what is going on at the back end of the dashboard he or she is trying it or is viewing. And if you want to know where the chart is actually coming from, like you want to know where this particular data is coming from to analyze this, just go to select data, and you're going to have it right here, and you see it's on sheet 2. And you can see it's right here. Once you actually cancel and you go back again, you see the same thing where our chart is coming from. That is beautiful. So right here, we're just trying to show some illustration on how to do this. That is why we don't bother ourselves creating such tedious way of doing things. So I'm just going to remove this right from this. I'm going to take this gender off it. I'm going to bring on to this my style. So we have a star right here, and for we to create kind of tree map we really wanted, you know how is to do it. We have to create what we call supporting column for this, because what we want to use to analyze this right now is just a tree map, and we need to actually get a tree map. It's very simple to actually create, and actually is easy to be used to analyze data. We just go for where we have, and we get a tree map right here, and that is exactly what it is. So we just have from here, we don't need any of this. So we have our tree map created, and we just have to format our tree map to actually be what we really want it to be. We just have to take this to our dashboard right now. So we hit on the dashboard and Ctrl V, we paste it right here, and we have the tree map right on our dashboard. So double click on it and actually have this, so no fill, and as well we're gonna have no border. So I'm just gonna actually have to drag it down a little bit and make sure I get it formatted the way it should be. So beautifully. So what we need to do right now, we're still having a little bit border around it, so we just have to get that off. So we don't want border, so we need to give it, change the color. Double click on it and make sure this is highlighted alone. So we have to give it the kind of color we really feel like it fits right there. So I want this color, and right on this I'm going to change the color to something like this, and for this I'm going to change the color to something like this. So we have a rhymed color on it. So we're going to change the color to something like this. You can see we are still revolving around the same colors we had been using from our color palette, right? So if I deselect right now, beautiful, we have beautiful color combination, just like what we have right here is what we are still using up till now. So this is what it is. So right now we are almost at the far end of this dashboard where we are about to create our animation. So what we're gonna have right now is something different right here. Let's see how we can actually do that. So right now we need to demarcate right here. I have it copied. I'm gonna actually have it on it. So I'm just gonna demarcate right here with this. Now we have it demarcated. So we just want to have this one in the chart. I'm just gonna make it a little bit smaller. Okay, fine. So can we see that? So I want to have this one in the chart entirely, and what the chart is gonna actually analyze is let me just go back to the main dashboard. So the chart is going to be analyzing revenue by products. So we want to see revenue by products. So, and it's very easy to just get created. So we go back to the main sheet and we just need to go by, just copy this, and we copy from here. So right now I'm just going to just have it there and have this cancelled, and it's beautiful. So what we need to do right now is just for me to hit on this one and go ahead and create a kind of chart we want to create. If we not the kind of chart we can actually create, what we need to do is just to have a trick. So we want to create this chart, and you see we can't really create this chart right now because it's not allowed, but we want to use that chart to actually analyze the kind of data we have right now, because it is very much going to be swift than having on the chart. So what we need to do is just to make sure we reference it as usual, and once we have it referenced, we're just going to drag this down to the fifth one, and now we can create a kind of chart we want to create, and we go right and we pick up the line chart, this kind of chart, and we want to take all the axes away from here. And once we've done that, we just have to resize it, and now we're going to take this down to a dashboard, and here we are almost having to get to the far end of the dashboard. So we just click outside of it and we have to bring this right to a dashboard. And can you see that? So we make sure it's settled down inside here. So we'll bring it down. So we have to bring this down a little bit. So we double click on it, and we're gonna have no fill and no outline. And for this, we just want to have it in kind of, we're gonna have this same, we're gonna have it on it, but we don't want to have it so thick on it. So we have something like this. So beautiful. So right now we can now go ahead and crank this up by going to the right aspect of it. So what we need to do is just to come right here, we select this particular dot part of it, and we go down, and we have to just make sure we crank it up. So maybe we want to have it on various colors. So we want to actually make sure the color is not on just one single color. So what we need to do is just to go to vary color by point. So now we have it varied. So we just have to go back and actually make sure we make it bigger, just like bigger balls. So can we see that? So right now we just have to, so we can see how big it is. So right now we can change the colors. How do we change the color of this? So what we need to do right now is just to still match the same color. Make sure you have this selected alone, and go to the color aspect right here, and go to marker, and make sure we select this color for this, and go down and select this color, the same color again. You select it. Now we have it. So we just have to select the second one, like this one as well. So we'll make sure we have that selected, and we go for this type of color, and we have to select the same type of color for it. So we have it. That's beautiful. So we still select under color again. We just want to have this color here, and we want to have the same color right on this. And for the fourth one, we want to go ahead and have this color. I think we have not gotten this color right here, and we want to have this color right on it. So we have the fifth one right here. So we need to select a color that is going to actually do well in it. So we should have a color like this color combination. So we don't have any color right that rhymes with it, but we can actually work on it. Let me just go right here and check this color, because we want to actually make the color to look different. So what are we going to do right now? We're just going to hit on this mark color and change the color to something like this, and it's gonna fit into what we would have wanted. If you can see, the color is a different color from other colors. So now we have something like this. So what we need to do right now is to insert the values of this particular charts we just have inserted right now. So we can actually take this particular part beneath it off because we don't want it, and here we have it. So next video we're gonna actually do the formatting and actually see how it looks. So right now I'm having a full screen of our dashboard. As you can see, it's looking beautiful. What we don't just have is the labeling we have right here, which we're going to actually do is very easy. So right now on hover, you can see which product is doing well and all of that. So we can actually even go ahead and actually have the products to pop up. Like we just have to put the labeling right on it. So the data label, so what? Okay, we're going to have the label. So we just don't have the legend. We don't have the legend. Oh, I think we are doing the wrong thing right here. We are analyzing store. That is bad. So we just have to go back and actually see how we can redeem our mistake. Right here, we just have to click on this and actually make sure we show the field list. And we have to select store, and instead we have to bring in products. We need to look for the product and have to bring in the products. And now we can actually go ahead and actually come back to the dashboard. And now we select here and we select data. And we go back. So we now this time around we have to select this whole file right here, and now we just have to say okay, beautiful, we have it. That is exactly what we ought to have done, but we made a mistake by selecting something different. But right now we just corrected ourselves. We can see what we've just gotten right now. So if we bring the legend right here, now you can see how the legend looks at it. Or if we go for the axis, you can see how beautiful. We can actually test it out and see what it is that fits into the dashboard, and rightly you have something beautiful like this. So in the next tutorial, we're going to see how we can actually make sure we format it rightly and make sure our chart sits right on our dashboard and create all those aspects and the animation that we have working on this. We're gonna have to create all that. So if you have watched to this end, I'm gonna say beautiful, you have actually learned a great dashboard, and you're gonna actually be amazed on how you actually create your next Excel dashboard, because this actually has given you a very good hand on how you can actually make your dashboard very much interesting to actually view by either your manager or even your clients, or if it is yours, where every single time you open dashboard you're gonna look very beautiful and you'll love it. So thank you very much for watching. If you are still here, hit the subscribe button, like and leave a question, and have the template downloaded if you have not, and follow along step by step on how we created this. Thank you very much for watching. I still remain Omeza. Thanks for viewing.